Hi YouTube, it's Emma Blue Eyes 10 here, and as you can see, this is another Blue Eyes Dragons deck update. I've made quite a few dramatic changes to the deck, in honest truth, because testing it on Dueling Network, testing against some friends, and looking over some videos I've done recently, like the previous tournament, and my days out at Edinburgh with the guys from the tournament, I started to feel something wasn't quite right with the deck. Something was off about the deck. I couldn't put my finger on what it was, so I've been looking really hard at the deck at what cards I use, what cards I don't use. Putting in what feels right, putting in what can keep up with the meta and everything. And taking advantage of like cards that are off the ban list or on the ban list or whatever and everything as well. So yeah, the deck's gone through quite a bit of a change now. Excuse me, and I wanted to show you guys, so please enjoy. Anyway, Blue Eyes Dragons. Without further ado, let's begin the deck review. As you know, Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, as my absolute favourite card in the entire game, main win condition of my deck. She's totally badass. And then we got 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, because no Blue Eyes deck should be without them. Then we have 3 Baby Bluey Wooies, or the White Stone of Legend, as I call it. Level 1 tuner, and when it's sent to the graveyard, I automatically get a Blue Eyes White Dragon to the hand. First change, Prime Material Dragon. I am no longer running Light and Darkness Dragon. Light and Darkness Dragon was brilliant, she did work very well, but unfortunately, the opponents would get around her. I couldn't really use her effectively, in honest truth. And because she's a mandatory effect nowadays, I needed something with a bit more option, in honest truth. And Prime Material is still pretty good. I used to run it in some of my older builds. She turns burn damage into life gain, and I can discard a card to negate destruction of monsters, which isn't too bad because most cards I use tend to be very effective in the graveyard and everything. And she's a level 6 24 attack dragon, so it was time for Prime Material to come back. But she can get around the destruction that Insectors and Windups and that do as well, which is not too bad. 2 Alexandrite. 3 was a bit too much, I felt, because there were some times when I pulled out a 3rd Alexandrite and I was like, I wish that was something else. So yeah, I've gone down to 2. I've still got plenty of options to synchro with into my fat level 7s and higher with Delta Flyer and everything, so it's not too bad. Still running 1 Vanguard of the Dragon. Discard a dragon type, he gains 300 attack, and if he's destroyed by the opponent's card effect, I can resurrect a normal dragon from the graveyard. So Alexandrite and Blue Eyes, 5 targets, that's not too bad. Delta Flyer as my main tuner monster to synchro with. I can also use it for exceeding, like if needed. Increases other monsters' levels by 1. So quite a good, versatile little dragon tuner. Still running 3 Masked Dragon as my main search engine. A lot of people are saying search engine cards aren't actually going to be very good this format because they probably will get destroyed before they can activate their effects, which is true in some sense, but in the other, if the opponent knows it's a search engine, they'll probably be more interested in looking at what comes afterwards, because a card after a search engine is sometimes a bit more devastating. And then we got 3 Totem Dragon, still, counts as 2 tributes for the summon of a level 7 or higher dragon monster, and if it's in the graveyard and I've got no monsters, I can resurrect it, but it's banished when it's removed from the field. So it's quite a versatile little card, because when you resurrect it, you don't know if I'm going to synchro with it, if I'm going to exceed with it, if I'm going to tribute for it, so it's quite a very good card for, I would say, nearly every dragon deck. I don't know if you kept count there, but I'm down to 19 monsters now. I normally run 20-20, but I've gone down to 19 because in the Spell and Trap Zone section I had to make quite a few dramatic changes there. Anyway, start off with the spells. We've got Polymerization because it's a pro card, mainly to use to fuse into Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, but I can use it to get into 5-headed dragon as well if the Blue Eye strategy fails. Future Fusion, main target is Five-Headed Dragon to set up the graveyard with Totem Dragons, to send the White Stones to the graveyard to get maximum effect from them, so I can get 3 Blue Eyes and fuse that way. Or, on the rare occasion, I can use this for Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Tricky, but I can do it. Then we got 2 Pot of Duality to see 3 turns into the future and pick a card that I might need. Can't special summon on the turn I activate that card. 1 Pot of Abris to recycle my monsters and to draw 2. Staple, Gold Sarcophagus to search out any card I need. Staple, Monster Born to resurrect. Staple, Book of Moon to protect my monsters or myself. Staple, Dark Hole to blow up monsters on the field. Staple, Heavy Storm to get rid of back row. And staple, 2 MST. I was thinking about 3, but I think 2 is still more than adequate, in honest truth, so not too bad. Traps now. Mirror Force is a staple trap card to get rid of stuff in the battle phase. 1 Solemn Judgment, the ultimate counter card. 2 Compulsive Evacuation Device. This is a really handy little card to save my monsters to bounce them back to my hand, or to bounce opponents' monsters back to their hand during critical moments. Apparently quite good at getting around the Insectors and wind-ups, because apparently if they're bounced before they activate their effects, then they don't get their effects, and other effects go by game mechanics or something like that. I'm not too sure about the ruling on that. But if anybody does know, just post down in the comments below. First change. 2 Torrential Tribute. Yeah, I'm using 2 Torrential Tribute now. I was looking at the videos where I got swarmed quite a huge bit. I did wish I had Torrential Tribute. I used to run it, but I took it out mainly because I was getting sick and tired of it getting blown up by MST. But since we've got 2, I thought, why not take advantage of it? And it's a good alternative to get rid of Swarm and everything, and that's a little surprise in that sense. So, yeah. And then, finally, for the trap cards, yep, I've got 3 Call of the Haunted now. Again, with Torrential Tribute, I just thought, why the heck not? I've got an extra card to resurrect my Blue Eyes, or any of my dragons if needed. Also very, very chainable as well. Say, for example, someone tries to MST it, you can chain it and resurrect your White Stone if needed. Or somebody tries to do destruction, you can chain and get out your Prime Material, or a Stardust Dragon, or whatever, something like that anyway. So yeah, that's the main deck there. And as you notice, my deck is actually getting a bit trap heavy. I've got 9 traps in there, so you need to be careful. On to the extra deck now. Extra deck's had quite a few major changes itself, but I'm still sticking with 2 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is the main card used to get out Shining Dragon. What's the tribute for Shining Dragon, I should say, really. Then we got Five-Headed Dragon as a beat stick. 1 Iron Chain Dragon. I know her effect isn't really good for the format, because some monsters activate quite well in the graveyard, but she's a level 6 25 attack monster. How often do you see those? Orient Dragon, which is the new Trishula. 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon to special summon and to blow up field spells. 1 Black Rose Dragon to reset the field. 1 Stardust Dragon to negate destruction. 1 Light End Dragon, when she battles, the monster that battles her loses 1500 attack and defense. In turn, she loses 500 attack and defense, so quite good for like just raw attack power and that, and she's my favourite synchro in the game. Trident Dragion, to attack multiple times. 2 number 17 Leviathan Dragon, or Revised Dragon, for Exceed. And then my final Exceed is Thunder End Dragon. Now, granted, I might not get 2 Blue Eyes on at the same time on the field as often as I want, but when I do, it'd be a good opportunity to put this down if needed. Thank you, Egyptian Prodigy, for sending me this. I'm actually now using it. I hope you like that. Since Konami's trying to, well, they're trying to use us, make us use Exceeds a lot more. And I thought, well, I've got three blue eyes. I know it's not going to be often, but it's a nasty surprise to drop in it just in case. I've got two spaces left in the extra deck, and both of them are going to be for the two new dragons that are hopefully going to be coming out in English. And I'm going to link them down below. One is Queen Dragoon from the Galactic Overlord booster pack set, and the other one is Kachi Koichi Dragon, which is a manga promo in Japan, I believe. I'm hoping to get those Exceed Dragons when they do come out, because they are pretty badass, and I really like them. But yeah, as you probably have noticed, I'm no longer running Dark End Dragon or Exploder Dragon Wing. I didn't synchro into them as often as I wanted to, and I didn't use them as much, so I took them out basically. Yeah, so I've got two spaces left now. Anyway guys, that is Blue Eyes Dragons. I hope you enjoyed. Next video is going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Etiquette number 5. So for me and the Shining Dragon, we are signing out. Bye!